think any, but I think I'm in the minority. Most people think it did. I just look at Jonathan Quick for the LA Kings. He played in more than anybody, and yet he was as sharp as attack in the postseason. So I think that's, I think you can certainly make a case that a goaltender can be overworked, but I'm sure he asked him that was an excuse. I just don't think he was on his game. I think he had bad, his angles were bad. I think he had too many rebounds in the slot, and he just was sloppy. And I don't know what you attribute that to other than it was just one of those kind of situations. So I don't think it's about games played. I just think he was not at his best when he had to be. Well, I think they brought Luke in for the reason, number one, to share it a little bit more, keep him fresher, if that's how they believe. And they must have made the conclusion that many people did, that he was overworked. But then I think also, more important, they may have pushed Fleury. I don't think there's ever been a challenger to Fleury as a backup. Whoever they had here was just kind of just warming his seat. If he gets into a drought, Fleury, that Spokane can move in and play a lot and maybe push him, whereas in before, he wasn't being pushed. He just knew it was his job, and eventually he would be the man. Well, there may not be guarantees if he's not playing at his best from this day forward. I don't know. I thought they must not think much of him, at least compared to what they did think of him, because if they felt he was a player could pose that situation as being a legitimate contender to that job, they would have kept him and not made a $4 million investment in Thomas Spokane. That's a lot of money for a goaltender, essentially, but actually don't like his development and don't feel he's ready. So I think they've probably soured on Brad Thiessen. He was up here a couple of times and wasn't at his best either when given an opportunity. I thought they got too caught up in the run and gun game. I think the whole team got goal happy. Down the stretch, if you look back in the regular season, they got a little too carried away with scoring, and then they will win games like that. And I think when you win games like that, you probably say, we don't have a problem. When in fact, to try to change that into playoff type of hockey, where you have to put surrendering odd man bricks and they gave up way too much, they got comfortable playing that game at the wrong time of the year. And I think it carried over into the playoffs. And they continue to play that way, which explains 8-3 games, 8-6 games, 10-goal games. It's ridiculous. You never see that in playoff hockey. But I think that's how they played, and I think they learned a really hard lesson that way. Put our scoring talent on display. And again, when you do that, that's fine. You may be able to be better than most teams that way, but if you give up 3 goals, score 2, or you give up 4 goals and you only score 3, that doesn't work. So I think you'll see this year a conscious effort to try to really clamp down on late in games, and it'll be the way they go through the regular season. That'll be the challenge that Dan Bowsman gives them, and we'll see if they can respond to it. But I think you're going to see some changes on their defense. I do. I'm not sure who's going to go, who's going to come, but they got too many young guys who, if they do not put them on their roster, they're going to lose them in terms of going through a waiver draft, and I don't think they want to lose those guys.